people. Until 2006, almost, 2005, in February when I was in Washington. I've said this many times and I will repeat it. I was taking a taxi just from here, DuPont circles, going to Arts Building to meet with Russ Feingold. I got in the taxi, I stopped the taxi random. The taxi driver said, "Where are you going?" I say, "I'm going to the Arts Building." When we get in the car, he asking me, "Where are you from?" I told him, "Guess." The man guessed every country, except Ethiopia, Eritrea, and Somalia. His name is Girmanagas. The man is bright. And then finally he said, "I give up." I said, "Don't give up." He said, "Okay, I can give you multiple choice." I said, "Go ahead." He said, I told him where I come from: A, Ethiopia; B, Eritrea; C, Somalia; D, none of the above. He said, D, none of the above. I told him I'm from Ethiopia. He said, "You're not from Ethiopia, prove it." I said, "Hadasindel. Payarabe. Kamelaka." Say, "Laka Amaranga Chilalinde." "Oh, you can speak Amharic?" "Yes." He said, now you prove it that you are Indian. We live in a country where we know more about Chinese and East Indians than the people that are in our own country. Why that is? That Girmanagas saved my life. And he's actually one of the reasons why I'm standing before you today. Some of us are embarrassed of them that because they are running naked and darker people in the south. What makes Ethiopia to be beautiful is our different look. Darker person like me, lighter person who look like white. A garden with one flower will never be beautiful. We create solidarity movement for new Ethiopia. Solidarity of the people. We want an Ethiopia where someone doesn't have to be harsh because of their skin color. That's not going to be an easy thing to be done, but it will take time.
This country is not a new country. It's a country that has been there for centuries, for years. That doesn't mean that one ethnic group doesn't have any kind of anti-Buddhistic feeling from each other. We do have. Solidarity movement is a non-political and non-profit organization that has mainly been formed for the sake of empowering Ethiopians who have lost their human rights to live as human beings without fear. Where humanity comes first, where we feel that no Ethiopian is free until all are free. There is no one free in this country, in Ethiopia, who calls himself free. Because this government is not elected by the people, it's there just to suppress it. It's a government who is brutal. It's known. Everybody knows about it. Everybody has experiences. And I have a brother who was imprisoned for 10 years in Wayane. He came out and asked him, "Are you happy now? You were 10 years in prison." I was congratulating him. I said, "Ara, he can't. Magala bati. In Oromo means that you are in prison 10 years. I'm happy that you are released. Are you now in the street? Are you not happy?" You know what he told me to my surprise? It makes no difference, he said. Even in prison, I'm in prison. When I'm let out, even the prison, I'm in prison because people are following me. I am not free. I cannot do the way I want. I can't visit my friends, go from one region to another. So, my dear friends, fellow Ethiopians, if we say that we are free, we are fooling ourselves. We are only free if we are all free. We can only be free if we are united.
What is striking about the Meles regime is how many ethnic groups it has attacked. In other words, what we have found in studying genocide over the years is that genocidal killers are serial killers. They don't just stop with one group. They move on to other groups. Anyone who can oppose them, they will attack and kill. What we want to stop is the continuing killing of people in Ethiopia by a regime which has gone bad. They say that power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And that is the case here with the Meles Zenawi regime. One of the things that we have emphasized in our work against genocide is that we are all members of the same race. There's only one race in the world, and that is the human race. One of the ways that genocidal dictators are able to get away with their crimes is to divide their victims. They make the Amhara opposed to the Oromo, or they make the Tigrayans opposed to the Amhara, or they make the Somali of Ogaden opposed to some other group. In other words, they divide. They divide and they rule. That kind of division needs to be overcome in Ethiopia. I know from past experience how important it is what you can do as members of the diaspora community to support the democracy movement in Ethiopia. To do it, you have to overcome ethnicity.
We are responsible for being silent. We have no excuse. Think not Addis Ababa only, think Ethiopia. I have messages for the international community because they do have a role. Like our good friend, the Human Rights Watch, Amnesty International, they have to present the facts as we see it and tell the whole world. The supporters, fund providers, the US government, USAID, those of you who go work for them, you have to tell them. They have to demand the measure of transparency when they give money, use the law of the USA. You pay tax. It is your tax money that the USAID also uses. What's no good for America? How come it becomes okay for Ethiopia? Say no.
The Japanese didn't develop by rejecting their own culture. The Asians didn't develop by rejecting their own culture. Only we in Africa rejected ours. So the leaders went abroad and copied all sorts of foreign and alien systems to impose upon their people. They copied alien ideologies, for example, to impose upon our people. Even a fool could see that Marx and Lenin were not black Africans. Rome has a basilica, so too must we in Ivory Coast. The Soviet Union is a one-party state system, so too must we in Africa. France has an emperor, so Bokassa spent $25 million to crown himself Emperor Bokassa. I can go on and on. But if you look at the continent is littered with the putrid carcasses of foreign systems that we imported into Africa. Enough copying. Africa's salvation lies in returning to and building upon its own indigenous institutions. The solutions to Africa's problems lie right there in Africa.